Helps up, y'all. Is cracking this deep. I'll to this album in Preach Bed. This is Woman Impregnates 2 women in jail. Trans criminal denied entry into female prison. Let's see what they got to say. Let's watch.
Just give us a little bit of the background to this case and why there's been such a big political row about it.
How does the justice system deal with prisoners who self-identify as women? And that is something that the First Minister, Nicola Sturgeon, has been taking questions on in the last few minutes. This case centres around...
Imagine just being a dude who's like stuck in a prison with other guys for life in prison, and the next day you find out if you just say you're a woman, you get access to pussy.
Yo, well, that happened though. There's a guy that says he self-identified as a woman, got into the woman jail, is pregnant.
No, that's not what happened. That's not what happened. What happened was a woman got other women pregnant.
I'm sorry, you're right. I'm sorry, you're absolutely right.
A woman got women who have uteruses pregnant.
That's what happened. You're right.
I remember reading that headline, and I just saw woman gets women pregnant, and I just went, bro, 2022 is a wild year. I don't care how much his gender stuff
They
goes
fix
for,
this creaking ass floor.
I just laugh. Man gives birth, and I'm like, what, to a dookie? Like, no, a baby. It's like, oh my God, stop.
A double rapist who attacked 2 women while they were known as Adam Graham a number of years ago. And they made the decision to transition while awaiting trial in that criminal case, and they're now known as Isla Bryson, and they are controversially being held in Scotland's all-female prison Cornton Vale in the Stirlingshire area. The Scottish Conservatives...
That is better than a good lawyer. You found the loophole.
Bro, what's up with these ladies with Superman jaws fucking doing all this extra shit, bro?
Why is her hair
This has nothing to do with trans people. It's people taking advantage of the loophole.
Sure. But how do you know that? Well, that's a convenient thing. You say that, and maybe this is true that some people will take advantage, but you can't have every criminal who's trans happen to all of a sudden not be trans anymore because you don't want it to make a, you know.
Bro. I can't be sure of that.
Okay, so you don't know what it is.
No, I don't know.
Okay. Listen, she says what she is, so use the right pronouns. That's what it is.
I never said the opposite. I will use the right pronoun.
Will you now, nigga?
That is so stupid.
I just zoomed in on her. I'm sorry. It was frozen on this shot, and it just kind of fucked me up, you know? Yeah! Will you now, nigga?
Now, we are told that Isla Bryson is in segregation at this moment in time.
This is giving like evil villain anime character. That's what I'm getting. This is what this looks like.
Not within the general prison population, but that has not stopped the questions, and certainly the response from Nicola Sturgeon has been clear. She said, I don't know how it's possible for a rapist to be in a female prison.
Wait, why not? What's the issue? If she's a woman, then throw it in that prison. I've been told this.
What?
If a woman or anybody feels like they're a woman, then they are a woman. That is the ideology you've been sold to.
That's what.
You don't have to put on makeup.
Nope.
You don't have to change the way you dress. You don't have to go through any gender reassignment surgery.
No.
If you say, then you are.
If
that is the barometer, you cannot take that away from this person just because they've done criminal activities. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm trying to say?
I get you.
So, for me, there's an incongruence there with this whole thing. And
I don't agree with that because a lot of your rights are taken away when you commit a crime. That's literally the point. Lots of your rights are being taken away. So I think this is one that should be taken away. My opinion. I've talked about this many times. That's why I'm kind of like silent, because I'm tired of fucking beating this dead horse. I've talked about this in length many times. The last time I talked about this in detail was on the Nikita video when she went to jail. I forgot the title, but something about Nikita jail. If you search it up, you can find it, but I'm not about to keep fucking saying the same thing over and over. But yeah, just speaking on what he just said, people are like, well, you know, that's not right. You have rights. No, your rights are stripped from you when you go to jail. That's why you should not commit crimes. That's why you shouldn't do that.
Fucked up thing to say, but if you really believe in this whole transgender stuff the way that they sell it, then you have to say that this person belongs in a woman's prison.
Well, a prison is a dangerous place. Nobody cares about whenever there's a man in danger in a male prison, no matter what they did, whatever, whatnot. It is a dangerous place, no matter what. Basically, actually, the punishment of going to prison is a bit that it is dangerous, and you don't have like all your livelihood and all your
yeah.
So
You're right.
One of the premise of the prison is that it's that. Let's be honest, okay? So whenever you wear other people that are like...
That is the point, so that it deters people from wanting to commit crimes. That's why a lot of people don't commit crimes. I mean, you know, some because they try to be good people. But a lot of people don't commit crimes because they don't want to go to jail. They are scared of going to jail. Let's be clear. So, let's keep that fair law.
So it is going to be dangerous. So, if you, like you said...
In that pretty feisty exchange in Edinburgh in the last few minutes, described Isla Bryson as a beast, and they said that Isla Bryson should not be kept in that women's environment where other women are being incarcerated at the moment.
I will say, some trans women look like their idea of womanhood is performative. Like, they go to that 90s Hello Barbie look when they want to become women or quote-unquote women. They go to the most stereotypically overly feminine, unrealistic, overly glamorized look.
When I see that, I'm like...
I don't know what it is. It's just something I noticed where it's like some part of transness also means reinforcing gender stereotypes to the nth degree.
Yeah.
Bruh. You want to know the truth? You want to know how I really think? And this is something I just came to the realization. This whole like idea of like gender expression and all this other stuff. I don't give a.
It's whatever you.
I don't. But listen, for me, the whole idea of gender has always been just linked to biology. That's how I've always used it functionally, right? When I take the idea that a woman is a woman, what I'm saying in that moment is like she generally, on average, is going to be physically smaller than men, not as strong as men, capable of giving birth. You know, ass and titties. Okay. I'm going to look at those stuff. That's always been the functionality. Oh, well, I express, like, listen, when I say women, what I say like that is I don't people who express as we are biological females, understand? So for me, the idea of womanhood and femaleness have always been interchangeable. All this talk about, well, the outfits I wear and the kind of name, like, I don't give a fuck about none of that shit when I think about what a woman is. So you ask me, when I think of women's sports, I don't think about gender expression. I just think about their biology. The old use of women my whole life has just been for people who are females. So for me, the two words are pretty much the same thing, to be honest with you. Bless me.
That was something that charities were saying over the course of the last few days. And quite crucially, Nicola Sturgeon was clear that Isla Bryson will not continue to be incarcerated in a women's prison here in Scotland, will not continue to be housed at Cornton Vale.
You know what's fucked up? If she shows up to a men's prison looking like that,
dangerous.
What she did to other women is about to be done to her. I wonder, as a means of survival, how quick do you think she about to change up her look when she find out she's going to a dude's prison?
Oh, quick things.
Yeah. I'm getting face tattoos. Put in my hair. Quick things. Somebody trying to call me Ela again, I'm like, sorry, it's Elijah or something, nigga. I'd be getting my voice even deeper. I ain't even played none of that.
Scotland's all-female prison. It's unclear, I think, at this stage exactly where Isla Bryson will go, and of course it opens up further questions about what happens with the rest of Scotland's trans population.
Wait,
Is that heard before? Face tattoos and shit?
Wait. Wait. I can't.
That one, you said, is that her before? I think that's her before. She goes to the male prison. As soon as she found out what the judge said, she said, tattoos, butt cut.
Stop.
Where's the umbrella LAAA? Where is it?
Yeah, all of a sudden she got face tattoos.
Oh, that's funny.
We're just showing you
I
an
know you
image
fucking
here
right.
of Adam Graham. who carried out these attacks when they were known as Adam Graham. There are 15 trans people in Scotland's prisons at this stage. To put that in context, there's a wider population of around 7,000 prisoners. Now, the Scottish Prison Service has been clear throughout the course of this that they make these decisions on where each and every prisoner should be held on a case-by-case basis.
I'm not gonna lie, that sounds a little bit dicey. It sounds like it ain't enough to just say you're trans. You're gonna have to do some proving. In which case, I think that's fucked up.
Yeah, it is.
I think that's fucked up.
Because you don't make no proving nowhere. And that's what I said earlier. Whenever you say the person has to say that if they feel like they express in a certain way, they don't have to do nothing. They just have post-op, pre-op, doesn't matter. And I said, and they don't have to prove it.
Yeah.
And now you do.
Because if you think about it, gender reassignment surgery is actually pretty expensive. It's not accessible to a lot of poor trans people. So if someone feels like they're trans and therefore they want to go through that transition, them not having access to all that surgery stuff shouldn't preclude them based off the ideology you subscribe to.
So whenever you say, because of that case, when you say, well, now people are going to have to prove it, now you are actually being, you discriminate against trans people.
Yep.
That's what you're doing right now. In order to be fair, they need to discriminate. Ain't that fucked up? In order to be fair, because of a trans birth, they need to discriminate trans people.
That's
Catch-22.
Firstly, in general, any prisoner who poses a risk of sexual offending is segregated from other prisoners, including during any period of risk assessment. Secondly, there is no automatic right for a trans woman convicted of a crime to serve their sentence in a female prison, even if they have a gender recognition certificate. Every case is subject to rigorous individual risk assessment and...
What this says, and I'm going to just, because this is all like blah, blah, blah. Basically what she says, just because you're saying trans woman doesn't mean it's true. And trans women are women with an asterisk.
Ain't that what I said in the beginning?
Because a woman would never have to go through this. Trans women do, because even though they subscribe to this ideology for clout purposes, the truth, or who knows? I actually don't know why they subscribe to this ideology. But even though they claim to, the reality is they're willing to rescind that person's womanhood based off whatever criteria they deem fit. And I'm going to be honest, if you feel like gender is an internal thing, which nobody on the outside can see, we have to therefore believe, what they're doing is essentially denying that idea. That's what they're doing. As I understand it.
And that's what I said in the beginning.
Yeah.
When I said, well, that's not a trans thing. That's just and then they doing that.
If you're asking me personally what I think, I have no problem with this stuff because I don't believe that trans women should be in women's prisons. But I'm also not an idiot. If someone is a trans woman and they're being sent to a male's prison, that ain't a good existence either. I think it's very similar to women's sports, where I think there's very few good solutions to this problem. Mm-hmm. And I also want you to appreciate, throughout all of this, almost like a forgotten child, we don't even know what happened to trans men. Who? Thank you for watching today's video. Let's go.
I literally talked about this exact same situation in the Nikita video, so I honestly don't feel the need to even repeat myself. Like I said, you can go check out that video, but this is exactly what occurred in that situation. Nikita was being put in a male prison or something, and people were upset about it. But come to find out, I think she wasn't even put in a male prison, so it was like fake outrage. But anyway, that was the whole discussion, and that was the debate. And I do feel like there should be a separate unit. I think there are separate units in some jails. It's called like the special, not special victims unit. I forgot what it's called, but it's a particular unit where they have trans people. So I think that would be the best the best solution. But some jails probably like, look, we ain't doing all that. We ain't got the funds to do all that to create no separate area. It is what it is. And again, if you are committing crimes, your rights are being taken away. There are many rights that you no longer have. So it is what it is. You just should stay your ass out of jail if you don't want to deal with this. But yeah, it is a very tricky situation. The same with the whole sports thing. I've talked about this as well in other videos. But I don't think that is right for trans people to be in sports with like women. I don't think trans women should play sports with biological women. I think that's also very unfair. I think they should have their own, separate sports. but people are also like, no, that's not right, or maybe they don't want to have a separate unit for that. So it's a whole lot of hoopla. But I've talked about this many times. This topic keeps coming up, and I feel like a broken record at this point. But yeah, this situation is wild. That's so fucked up that she raped people, but then when she's going to the male prison, now you got face tats that you are displaying. Now you're bald, and now you on your nigga shit. Like, what? I just think it's fucked up that people choose to abuse that, because it does make it harder for trans people who are living right, and they're not pieces of shit like this. So it does suck, but that's the world we live in. The world fucking sucks. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think, though. Let me know what the videos you've been watching. I'll see y'all next time. Bye!